Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you did well on this. Let's check out your answers. Right? And this first one, remember the area of a parallelogram, I write it like this, is the base times height. That's how wide it is times how tall it is. And remember, those are the lines that make the right angle. Okay, and if you look at that right angle symbol, it kind of looks like maybe an H, right, for the height. So I'm going 5 times 14. So the area of this is 5 times 14, which is 70. And this is square meters. Okay. Remember, area is always square units. And they tried to trick you on this one by sort of drawing it a little bit crooked. So the perpendicular lines were not horizontal and vertical, but you can see that symbol. So I'm going 8 times 17. That's 8 tens, right? Which is 80. And 8 sevens is 56. And 80 and 56 is 136. And this one is square inches. And remember, that is the short way of writing square inches, inches to the second power. On 592, we were doing triangles. And this first triangle was 27 feet wide at the bottom. That's the base, 12 feet tall. And I can do 1/2 of 12 times 27, 12 27s. Remember, when you do distributive property, you can call that 27 a 25 and a 2. Why? Because 25s are easy. It's like money, right? 25, 50, 75, 1. 25, 50, 75, 2. That's 8, right? 25, 50, 75, 3, right? So 300 is 12 times 25, and 12 times 2 is 24. So this is going to be 324. Okay, now I get that 324. Now that is 12 times 27. I need half of that. So 2 goes into 3 one time. 1 times 2 is 2. I subtract what I do now, bring down the 2. 2 goes into 12 6 times. 6 times 2 is 12. What do I do now? Bring down the 4, and 2 goes into 4 twice. So this 162 is the area of this triangle. And what is my units? Feet. So it's square feet. Now, another way of doing that would be to take half of the 12, which is 6, and just do 6 times 27. And again, that's 6 25s, 150, 6 2s is 12, 150, and 12 is 162. Same answer. Okay, a little shortcut for you. You can take half. Remember, of means times. All right, this next one, 9 times 8.5. And I'm going to take half of it. I'm going to go ahead and take half of the 9 now, and that's 4.5 or 4.5, and multiply by 8.5. Remember, you don't have to pretend like there's no decimals when you multiply. 25, carry the 2, 40 and 2. Put a placeholder. 4 times 5 is 20, carry the 2, and 32 and 2 is 34. And I get 3825, but I had to move this over one spot and this over one spot to pretend that there was no decimal. So that's 2 spots total. I go back 2 spots in my answer. And my answer is the area of this triangle is 38 and 25 hundredths. And this is going to be square millimeters. How'd you do on those? Okay. On 593. You had to find the length of the bottom base, that's CB. Well, I had to go over 4 just to get to 0, right? What I was doing there is getting the absolute value, the length of -4, and then I had to go over 8, the absolute value of 8. So this ends up being 4 plus 8. Total, the bottom of that is a total of 12 units. Okay. Now AD, I had to go over 6 here and 2 there, right? That's -2 plus absolute value of 6, which is 2 plus 6. So the top is 8. Now, when they deal with areas of trapezoids, they call this base 1 and base 2. Don't get confused. You could just call it top and bottom if you want, but no, the formula is going to have that B1, B2, and it's a confusing formula. It scares a lot of kids away, but just think of it as the top and bottom, okay? And even if it's turned sideways, call one the top, one the bottom, okay? All right, find the distance between the two bases. That's called the height. So that is 5, and that is 2, right? So I have an absolute value of 5 plus the absolute value of negative 2 is 5 plus 2 equals 7. Okay? Now, if you wanted to get the area of this, it's kind of cool, right? It's going to be actually the average of the top and the bottom, right? Which is 8 plus 12 divided by 2. That's 10 times the height. So the area of this, okay, and again, how do you get the average of two numbers? You add them, the top plus the bottom, divided by 2. That's the average, times the height. And that's just, we did 8 plus 12 is 20, divided by 2 is 10. 10 times 7 is easy. Now, you did not have to get this. I'm just showing you because this is something that's coming soon. Okay. All right, let's flip it. 5-94, you had to get all the first 6 multiples of 9, and we did that for you, right? Now, for 12, you got 12. 12 times 2 is 24. 12 times 3, and these are dozens. That's why I can do them in my head, probably without even talking to you, right? I deal a lot with, when you build things and you're measuring things, you have to know how many inches are in a foot. So that it's handy to know your 12s in that sense. Okay, plus donuts, right? All right. So C, it says, C, it says, what is the least common multiple of 9 and 12? Are any of these the same? It looks like 36 is the same. That's the first one that's the same, which means it's common. These are all multiples, so we already got the common multiple, and it's the smallest one, so it's the least. Now, greatest common factors, we started to get all the factors of 9, right? 1 times 9 and 3 times 3. So 1, 3, and 9 are all the factors. I can give you till next Thursday to get more factors, and you're not going to find any. Okay? And when we say factors, we mean whole number of factors. Now, for 12, we got 1 times 12, but it's even, so I know 2 goes into it 6 times, and 3 goes into it 4 times. Now, these get smaller as these get bigger. There's nothing between 3 and 4, so I'm done. So all the factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Now, which ones are the same? 1's the same, 3 is the same, and 9 is not. So 3 is the biggest one. That's the same. The greatest, that's a common factor. Okay? All right. Where are we going to put these? I think I left it up to you to decide if you want to treat these as fractions or decimals. I'm going to do it both ways and say 2.5 is the same as 2.5. 1/2 is the same as 0.5. 2 is the same as just 2, right? 0.5 is the same as 1/2. 1.5, negative 1.5 is negative 1.5. And negative 3/4, that is negative 0.75. Okay, and remember how I put these every 4 lines? I did that on purpose, right? Because every 2 lines is a half, every 1 line is a fourth, or 0.25. So 2.5, I'm going to go halfway between 2 and 3, because that's 2.5. 2.5, right? And I'll put 2.5 down here. 1/2, halfway between 0 and 1. Put the half here and the 0.5 there. Negative 2, that's just negative 2, right? 0.5, that's halfway between 0, and then we already got that, right? It's the same thing as a half. And negative 1.5, that's negative 1. Don't go this way when they get to the half, right? It's negative 1 and 1/2 is between negative 1 and negative 2. That's where people often will make a mistake. So double check that you got that on this one, right? Okay, that you got this one right. Negative 3/4, that is negative 3/4 or negative 0.75. All right, how'd you do? Hopefully great, and hopefully you will have an easy time on tonight's homework, right? 5.34C, area of trapezoids coming your way, right? Coming your way. We're doing that one tonight. All right, talk to you soon, everybody.